When I asked her to describe her cousin in one word, she said fighter, which is why the hashtag #FightFarrahFight is so fitting. She also describes Deputy Farrah Turner as a woman of faith and says she used her position as a law enforcement officer to minister to the community. As Florence County Deputy Farrah Turner remains in critical condition after being shot in the line of duty, her family, friends, and even strangers from across the country are rallying behind her. The hashtag #FightFarrahFight has taken off on social media, gaining national attention.
The first time I saw it, it came from some family members and church members. And I saw it and was like, yeah, we got to run with this. That's the way to make sure we keep it out there. The more prayers, the better.
Her cousin Rhonda Dollard says she is the epitome of a fighter. She also says she has a faith that is unmatched.
They say that you only need faith the size of a mustard seed, but her faith was so much bigger than that, wore it on her shoulders at all times.
And uses every chance she can to minister to others.
And just listening to some of the stories with some of the people that she's arrested that have come back just to sit and pray with her and let the family know how much of an effect she had on their lives. That part just has me in awe.
Rhonda says her family isn't giving up, and they know Farrah isn't either.
But the days when I feel like she's going to be all right, I get word that she's still in there. She's still fighting. So it's like she's here with us spiritually, letting us know, even if we're not at the hospital, sitting with her physically, she's letting us know, I'm all right. I'm still fighting. Y'all just keep praying.
And Rhonda also says the school is planning more events in support of Deputy Turner.
Let's go to News 13's Aaron Brown live tonight outside McLeod Regional Medical Center. Aaron.
Well, Bob and Nicole, it is such a tragedy. Deputy Turner died tonight at McLeod. She had been in the ICU since the October 3rd shooting, and members of her family tell me she sustained gunshot wounds to the torso and to the leg. She also had 8 surgeries and had both of her feet amputated. Now, earlier today, Deputy Turner's mother released a statement saying, quote, "This horrendous act of violence has altered my daughter's life forever. But I do believe that God has a plan for her," end quote. Deputy Turner was one of the 7 law enforcement officers shot in the Vintage Place neighborhood on October 3rd. Florence Police Sergeant Terrence Caraway died that evening. The 5 other deputies and officers were hospitalized but have been released. Last Friday, I sat down with Deputy Turner's cousin. She said she wanted to remember Turner as the person she was before the attack. She described her as funny, laid back, and a woman of faith. She told me Deputy Turner ministered to some of the people she arrested and helped them turn their lives around.
And just listening to some of the stories with some of the people that she's arrested that have come back just to sit and pray with her and let the family know how much of an effect she had on their lives. That part just has me in awe.
And several law enforcement agencies have released statements tonight expressing their condolences to Deputy Turner's family. Governor Henry McMaster also tweeted out that his heart is broken and he is ordering flags to be flown at half-staff starting tomorrow and lasting until Deputy Turner is buried. You can read all of those statements on our website, WBTW.com, and we will bring you the newest developments throughout tonight and the early morning and tomorrow as well. Reporting live in Florence, Aaron Brown for News 13. As soon as you walk into the sanctuary, you'll see a thin blue line flag draped over the altar. The Reverend there tells me it's all in remembrance of Investigator Farrah Turner, but it's also a token of gratitude and respect for law enforcement.
You have to be a very unique person to walk around to help other people, knowing that you're walking in the line of fire.
Selfless, giving, and faithful. That's how members of Florence County Investigator Farrah Turner's childhood church describe her.
Energetic, she's always good to get along with, and she's just good to be around.
Members of the Greater St. James AME Church say Turner had a heart for others. They say they're devastated she was senselessly attacked while doing a job she loved, while serving a community she loved.
Naturally, the church is torn by something like this, especially with young people. So it's a tragic thing that when we see one so young fall.
And as they pray for comfort and healing, they also pray for the day no law enforcement officer is killed or injured in the line of duty.
Police officers are people just like us. Their job is very hazardous. We as a people have to come together and try to help law enforcement in any way we can because we need them.
And the Florence County Sheriff's Office says Investigator Turner will be laid to rest on Sunday. Her funeral will be at noon at the Florence Center. And right now, a Sheriff's Office vehicle is on display at the Florence Judicial Center as a memorial.
Officer Turner and Officer Caraway both gave up their life serving our community, and the very least we could do was give back to them.
Florence County Investigator Farrah Turner will join her brother in blue, Sergeant Terrence Caraway, and thousands of fallen heroes this Sunday. Investigator Farrah Turner will be buried right here where these yellow flags are. Now, this section of the cemetery is reserved for people who served our country and our community.
This area out here is called the Veterans Garden of Freedom. We set up this garden for veterans and their families to be able to provide, again, for those people that served our country. And you know, we could do no less for the people that serve our individual community, and that's why we chose this spot to provide for Farrah Turner.
David Brown says it's an honor and a privilege that both the Caraways and the Turners trusted them with the burial of their loved ones. He says specialized headstones will be made for both of them.
The headstone will have a sheriff's badge or deputy's badge on there. That's just to personalize it for her, since that was such a part of her life.
Reporting in Florence, Aaron Brown for News 13. The funeral is set to begin in about 3 hours, and public visitation will start here in just about a half hour. And anyone who wants to pay their final respects to Investigator Turner is welcome to do so. I do want to show you this memorial right behind me. This is a sheriff's vehicle that has been up here since Tuesday, which is the night after Investigator Turner died. As you can see, people have been dropping off flowers and balloons and cards and stuffed animals, a few teddy bears up there. All in remembrance of Investigator Turner, just expressing their love and appreciation for her and her 10 years of service to the community. Now, thousands of people are expected to pack the Florence Center for Investigator Turner's funeral, just as they did for Sergeant Caraway's service three weeks ago. Law enforcement officers from agencies all across the country flew in for Sergeant Caraway's funeral, and we're expecting them to do the same for Investigator Turner. Sergeant Caraway and Investigator Turner were both shot in an ambush on law enforcement officers back on October 3rd. Investigator Turner died last Monday at McLeod. Her family says she was shot in the torso and in the leg. She's being remembered as a giving and selfless person who always wanted to serve her community. Again, the funeral starts here at noon, and a burial will follow at the Florence Memorial Gardens. And on Thursday, I spoke with the owner at the Memorial Gardens, and he said Investigator Turner will be buried among veterans at the Veterans Garden of Freedom. That burial will follow after the funeral here at noon. If you do want to come pay your final respects, you are more than welcome to do so. And we'll have more coverage, live coverage for you tonight on News 13 at 6. It was such a beautiful ceremony. People from all different walks of Investigator Turner's life spoke at the podium, including family and members of the Florence County Sheriff's Office, some of her sorority sisters, and her fitness coach as well. And they all shared fond memories of her, and they also made a promise to take up her fight. A life of service, humility, compassion, and courage.
Without hesitation, when I think of Officer Farrah and what she meant, she truly embodies those characteristics each and every day. A servant with the courage to make a difference.
Through laughter and tears, those who knew Florence County Investigator Farrah Turner shared fond memories of her as they said a final goodbye.
I've worked with so many deputies all over the state in my 14 years on the bench, and I had never met anyone who smiled so much in the courtroom.
And described her as sweet but tough.
She said, Thomas, they be afraid, they scared. They worry about me out here. She said, but I got a job to do, and I'm gonna do my job. No matter what, I ain't gonna have no fear. If something happened to me, it just happened, but I'm gonna do my job. And on October 3rd, because those kids in the house, she did her job. 1,000 times over, she'll do her job again. Not one step backwards.
Investigator Turner now lies at the Florence Memorial Gardens among her brother in blue, Sergeant Terrence Caraway. Two heroes who let nothing, even the threat of losing their lives, stop them from protecting their community.
Examples that unite us together and not only make us Florence strong, but make us Farrah and Terrence strong.
And to Farrah, rest easy, my sweet girl. We'll take it from here.
And Investigator Turner was also remembered as a tutor for young girls at Florence School District 4. Her first cousin, Brittany, also said she had a heart for children ever since when her younger cousin was born prematurely at just 14 ounces. She volunteered to take care of him, and today he was one of the drummers in the band playing in honor of his favorite cousin. Reporting live in Florence, Aaron Brown for News 13.